You are listening to In Between Sales Calls with Derek Shebby, episode 4. Welcome everyone to another episode, another day, and another chance to make a difference in your customer's world. So I have 2 boys, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old boy, and they are hungry for knowledge. And they're hungry for food too, very often. It seems like they always want something to eat. Can you imagine if I told them, hey boys, if you're hungry, there's peanut butter and jelly in the refrigerator. Just make yourself a sandwich and clean up after yourself. I'll be home later tonight. What do you think would happen? Well, they most likely would destroy the kitchen and end up eating whatever it is that they wanted, probably beginning with the chocolate and the candy. If you have kids, you'll know what I'm talking about. I can hear some of you saying, but Derek, my kids have seen me making peanut butter and jelly for them 1,000 times. They could figure it out. Yeah, no way. It's just too complicated. It would either take them too long to figure it out how to make the peanut butter and jelly, in which case they would probably get frustrated, quit, and do something easier like grab the candy or chocolate, or they would try to figure it out and it would end up being a disaster. Yeah, and I mean, use your imagination. You're probably right. The right way to teach them how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich would be to show them step by step on how to make that sandwich with the purpose of them doing it next. But then we do it again, and then we have them do it with us, and then have them do it with us again. Then you start watching them do it, but still be right there to help them when they make mistakes. And then do that again and again until eventually you have seen without any doubt that they can complete the task. We do the same thing in sales. Too often we are taught, just like I mentioned to my boys, we're taught to just go out there and find some prospects. Hey, can you make sure you get your phone calls in? We need 5 deals from you this month. Can you remember a time of being told any of those things? Or maybe a time of when you told that to other people? Look, it sounds like it should be easy. We've seen other people do it, right? Just like the 1,000 times we made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for someone. It's not easy. It's complicated and needs to be taught, coached, and inspected. Too often us sales leaders assume that what we ask of our salespeople is easy to do, but it's not. It's complicated and needs to be taught, coached, and inspected. Too often we as salespeople think that when we pitch our product or service to our clients, they should easily be able to connect the value and how it can improve their business. But it's not. It's complicated, needs to be taught, coached, and inspected. Right? There's a fundamental challenge that I see all over the place in sales. It's in our ability to keep things simple. It's in our ability to clearly explain how our offerings could help a company. It's in our ability to reach our clients on their level and show them we could be a resource. I call this success habit today, I call it 1 + 1 simple. There's so many aspects of keeping things simple in sales, especially since there's so much that we're responsible for doing. Research. I mean, just think about all the different aspects of researching a client or researching a company that we're just taking for granted, just saying, just go out there and research. That needs to be taught, right? We go from research to prospect and all the different aspects of prospecting, to communication, all the different platforms we might use, to running an appointment and doing that successfully, even down to creating a proposal and presenting the proposal. How about creating a sense of urgency with the customer? How about just being liked? How about closing for a next step, closing in general? How about the implementation and follow-up and follow-through and making sure that you're selling more to the customer deeper and wider in the account? There's a lot. There's so much that we have to do as salespeople. And a lot of times the way that we're taught and the way that we go through things, we're taught just like I would say to my kids, go downstairs and make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you're hungry. And we just don't exactly know what we're doing. So when you're keeping things simple, the best thing to do when you're learning is to take one thing at a time and get really good at it. And the first thing that always comes up in sales that you need to become great at is being able to answer the question, what does your company do? Sometimes it's obvious what the company does, and sometimes it isn't. We don't want to assume that we know what the customer knows. Think about this question. What does your company do? You can also substitute that for, hey, what do you do for work? Why don't you pause this episode and give me your response? And not just in your head. I'm talking out loud, like I told you when you role play. So imagine I just asked you this question. What do you do for work? Now pause this podcast and respond. Okay, are you back? Now, was that simple? Could you agree with me that this is a normal question that you'll get regularly, or that you're very familiar with getting all the time? Well, this critical question is one that will tell your prospect if you can help them or not. How confident are you with your response? How passionate are you with delivering it? How crisp is your messaging around it? Well, here's a few tips on helping you keeping your message simple. Do you have something to write with? Okay, great. Here we go. Your message doesn't need to be fancy. Sometimes you hear people with the business acumen, all these key words that you might use. But listen, whatever you say, it needs to speak to your clients. And your clients want to know if you can help them. Because if someone knows that someone can help them, why wouldn't they ask for help? So what do you think your customers want? What do your clients want? Well, they want three things. The first thing is they want to make more money. They started a business, they started a company because they wanted to make a lot of money. If your products or services could help them make more money, who wouldn't want to meet with you? That's the first thing. The second thing is our customers want to grow their business. When people start a company, they don't just want it just to be them. They want to grow it and have it be bigger and bigger and bigger, because obviously if it's bigger and it expands, they're probably going to make more money, right? Goes back to number one. So the second thing is they want to grow their business. If your product or service can help them grow their business, they're going to be interested. The third thing is they want to keep their employees happy, because if they keep their employees happy, it's going to help them make more money and grow their business, right? So that's the third thing. Which one does your product or service help them with? Number one, which is to help them make more money. Number two, to grow their business. Or number three, to help keep their employees happy. Have you decided which one you help solve? Okay, next you need to be specific about how your products or services does just that. I mean, you may have a lot of offerings. You might say, Derek, well, I've got 10 different offerings. That's great. Just have one in mind for this exercise. And whichever one it is, you start off by saying something like this. My name is, and I help companies. That's when you choose number one, number two, number three. Reminder, that's I help companies make more money, grow their business, keep their employees happy. That's just an example. By providing solutions that, and here's where you would connect the dots that your offerings do for your company. And this last part is where you would connect how your offering helps them with 1, 2, or 3. Here's an example. My name is Derek and I help companies make more money. Notice that's number one. By providing an online B2B sales training academy that coaches sales teams on how to sell and win with increased gross profit in this modern world we're in. So you notice how I said my name and then I said literally how I help them. I help them make more money, which I know is something that everyone wants. By providing, and here's my offering, which is an online training academy, and how that online training academy connects directly with them making more money. Now, this is a lot to take in if you're a client hearing your response for the first time. I mean, they just asked you, what do you do? Or they ask you, what does your company do? So when you keep it really simple, they're able to follow you step by step along the way and they understand. But I recommend adding an overview of what a meeting with you looks like. Basically, you're letting them know that after meeting with you, they're not going to be secretly sold some Amway products or a timeshare, right? So what I mean is adding something like, now I'm not sure if we could be a resource. That's why we should set up a brief visit so I can share some examples. I mean, that's non-threatening, right? It's really simple. Once you do that, then you set the meeting. Your message needs to be simple, and don't afraid to tweak it as you go. You might start with one, test it out over and over and over again so you get a lot of good data and good math, and then you can change it and tweak it and see if that improves the results. So to recap the lessons from today, keep what you say 1 + 1 simple. Answer the question your client is wondering, and that is, can you help them in number 1, 2, or 3? Connect what offering you have that could help them. Give them an overview of what meeting with you looks like. That's it. Now you've created a response to what do you do? What does your company do? It's time to spend 5 minutes role-playing it out loud so you're going to be more battle-tested for the field. You'll hear me mention this 1 + 1 simple concept throughout my episodes. Call these the sales basics, sales fundamentals, sales essentials. We must stop assuming our message is being heard. And if it is, we must not assume it's being understood. It's our job to walk them through something simple enough that they can understand how we could be a resource. Just ask my boys if they can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Well, that's it for episode 4, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to join you in your sales journey. See you next time. Hey, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, then you have to come check out my free 5-day sales training course of my proven Sales in 21 Days program. I designed it to help you make more money in sales. Whether you're looking for a fast start or just looking to sharpen your skills, you can't afford to miss it. Come get free access today over at www.salesin21days.com. That's www.salesin21days.com. I'd love to have you join the program. See you there.